Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Margie, and we will be discussing extra and user-defined fields, as well as a new tool that we've had. Actually, it's been for about a year now, and it's called Drawer. Now, I want to apologize in advance that my Cortana keeps popping up. I don't know why, but I'm going to try and make it stop. I got a new computer this week, so something's going on. So please pardon anything that Cortana may try and do. All right. If you can hear me, I would appreciate it if you would raise your hand or come off of mute and let me know that you're able to hear me. Or type in the chat room. Let's see. I'm not seeing anybody that's raising their hand. Okay, thank you. It looks like you can hear me. All right. Now, if I can just get Cortana to behave. I've tried to stop her, but anyway, let's just get started. All right, we're going to talk about extra fields, user-defined fields, and what Drawer is. Some of you may have already seen webinars or have been demoed the Drawer, but it's a really cool feature, and I want to bring it up again just to show you that it's available. Some of you may or may not be using extra fields and user fields. I hope you are. If you aren't, we need to get you started because it's a great tool that GP has that a lot of people are unaware of or don't use, and I think it's a great help if you're not using it already. All right, let's get started. So here's what extra fields is. It's to track organizational and employee information that don't have a defined window already. So if there's something for your organization and company that you want to track that you're not finding in GP, this is a great way to do it. You can track up to 25 fields for your organization. As you can see here, it's listed 5 fields for storage, dates, 5 fields for storing numbers, 5 fields for storing a yes, no information, 5 fields for storing currency, figures, and 5 fields for storing words or phrases. It's a lot of information, and if you're, like I said, not finding somewhere in GP that you want to keep some information, this is the way to do it. User-defined fields, similar but a little bit different. User-defined fields are for applicants or employees. It tracks 36 additional fields, and the neat thing about user-defined fields is it's its own window, and also you can report on any of this information. So you have, again, a lot of the fields are 5, so you have 5 string fields for characters and numbers, 5 currency fields for storing dollar amounts, and 5 date fields for storing 5 date fields, and then 5 integer fields for storing whole numbers. Then we get 10 checkbox fields for storing a yes or no information, and we have 5 fields for storing time information. The 36th field is there are notes. Note area for storing longer text entries. And then the drawer will give you great information. Again, I am so sorry, people. Let's see. The drawer will give you great information for organizing up to 10 folders to categorize secure attachments, any kind of documentation that you want for HR payroll, accounts payable, excuse me, I meant to say accounts payable, not accounts payable there, or payroll. And accounts receivable and inventory. Okay, so let's get started in our demo. Let me get into GP. And let's get started. All right, in the setup, HR payroll, we're going to go down to extra fields. This is under the human resources. Now remember that payroll has two kind of modules within one here. So we have our payroll on top, and we have our human resources towards the middle. And then all of the listings under human resources, we would just click on extra fields. And here are your categories that you can set extra fields up for. Let's look at an employee. I went ahead and set up a few fields here. Now, in GP, I wanted to find a place where I could track the date of a drug test, whether it be random or drug screening before employment. You can label these any way you want. Like I said, it's a 15-character field. You can put whatever labels you want in here. For the alphanumeric, I went with license plates. Some organizations may have quite a lot of employees, whether there are quite a lot or just a few. They want to track their license plates to make sure that some other people aren't using their parking lot when they shouldn't be if it's for employee use. For currency label, I just used the example of Casual Friday. Sometimes companies will have a Casual Friday where you can wear jeans or whatever your company allows, and you do a donation of maybe $5 for this, and that goes to a charity. I use that as a Casual Friday field to say, you know, Margie decided to put $50 into her Casual Friday fund, and you can track some information that way. For checkbox labels, again, I just did a check mark for a drug test taken, that it was completed. These are just some labels I came up with. Let's say, I can't really quite think of a numeric one. Let's just say it's a phone number, a fourth phone number, private phone number, let's say that. So we have that. Let's say a date. We could say something that's not tracked in GP already could be the Christmas party, maybe, the holiday party. And again, these are just off the top of my head ideas. And then alphanumeric could be, let's say, an account of some sort. Okay. Now we're going to click OK. Now this is in your setup. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the cards up here under Human Resources. We're going to look at the employee. Actually, I'm just going to go right back up here. Excuse me. I'm going to go up to the employee card, up to maintenance. And why won't you open? Here we are. We're already open. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Now let's pull up an employee. Let's go look at Pilar. We would click down here in Human Resources, because remember we set them up in Human Resources, so it's in that area that you're going to find your extra fields. And then you would click on your extra fields button here, and you would see these labels in place under your dates, your alphanumeric, your numeric, Casual Friday, and you can see your check boxes. You can enter in some dates here. Let's say it's today's date. And the holiday party will be, let's do the 4th of July. So let's just do 07/2018. And then a license plate will go with GPUC 123. And for an account, let's go with extra 100 or 1,000. For a phone number, we can do 800 123. Let's see, 800. I guess it's just going to be a number. It's not going to let me do a phone number. So we'll just type in some numbers there. Casual Friday, I put in $50. And the drug test has been taken. So as you can see, we've got this information here, and then we're going to click on Reports. And we can set up our own reports just like you would in any other of the report options that you would have in any other module. You would select an option. If there isn't any, then you would just create one. I'm just going to say default. It's for employee, the report. I want it on, look at all this. Isn't that great? All these options. So I'm just going to say employee. Let's see, it's extra field. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's just go with employee list, and we can keep it under department. It's still the same categories that you would have already entered for any of the others. I will do a date. I'll do a range of accounting, and then you would enter that in here, and then you would go ahead and check your destinations, and again, you would just go ahead and print that, or email option. Okay. There we go. Now, isn't that nice? So we can do that, and that can be set up on every employee, because once you set up those fields, they're there for everyone, no matter what employee you have. Click on extra fields, and again, there they are. So you would just go ahead and set that information up while you're doing your employees. So that could be something that you could, if you have like a new hire checklist, and you go ahead and you start using these extra fields, you could add that to your checklist to make sure that the user who's entering this employee or this applicant or whatever the case may be, add it to your check field or your checklist so that we know that, you know, it's being seen and that this is a new process and that it's getting completed. So that way we know that we're getting all the information that we need if it's a new process for your company. I'm a checklist kind of person, so I always recommend making sure that if any kind of new procedure or process is implemented for your company, that we add that to your checklist as well so it doesn't get overlooked. Now let's take a couple of minutes and let's take a look at user-defined fields. So again, we're under Setup, under Human Resources, and we're going to go under, let's see, Employee, User-Defined, and you can do this under Applicant as well. So again, here we have a user-defined field for an employee. I named the window drug screening. You can name it whatever you'd like. If you're going to have multiple records on this window, you would mark this box here. And you will go ahead and, again, type in your labels that you want. If you want to enable them, you would mark this and you would type it in. So let's just say, I know we have a birthday, let's say anniversary. Okay, for a date. And you can see I used that example again, Casual Friday. And let's say we're good with that. So then if we're going to want multiple records in this window, we have to mark this. If you want to inactivate something, you go ahead and inactivate it. We click on Window, Layout, gives you this message saying setup has been successfully saved. And we can go ahead and look at the window. So this is what it's going to look like when you go into the employee ID. You're going to have your employee ID. It's going to give you the Social Security number. And here's your completed, your anniversary dates, and your casual Friday. So if you fill up all of these, that would be great. You can always do different windows if you just don't want multiples. You can unmark that, and then you can just say completed would be the only one that we want. And there it is. Just completed shows up. All right. To do a report, again, it's the same thing. We only have one field specified. It tells us that. But because I unmarked Casual Friday, it's not going to show up on this report. The completed will. And you'll be able to do a lookup and see that. Now, if we go back and I mark them all, and I do a report, it's going to include everything that we have in here. And you just go ahead and you look at that up. And I believe anniversary was not included, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. And then you can always just do, the zoom to get rid of those fields as well. So look at all the labels, look at all these fields. Isn't that great that you have all this opportunity to make those reports the way you want them to? So here's another one. We're going to use the user define. We're going to enable a checkbox, some more, and then we can enable time. Not just date, but you can do time as well. So look at, you've got your string, dates, currency, integers, checkboxes, and time. Quite a lot of information that you can store in GP. And it's very, very easy to use in your reporting and gathering that information. Now, let's take a peek at Drawer. So Drawer is a tool that we built here at Implementation Specialist, and it is, as I said earlier, something to organize your attached documents for. It can be used in HR Payroll, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and inventory. So let's just look, since we're in the payroll windows, let's go ahead and look at a payroll. Let me go to Pilar again. And we would click on Additional, click on Drawer, and there it is. I made these labels for the drawers for HR, but you can certainly make them anything you want. So you can see that I did not label the bottom two. And you can keep them blank and use them as needed, but in this scenario, in this demonstration, I went ahead and I labeled one for applicants. And if you click on this little plus, you're going to see that an application form has been filed away in the applicant folder for Pilar Ackerman. If I wanted to have his W-4 form saved, I would simply just go out here and it would come up another window so that I can attach it. I will click on Attach, and I'm going to go out to where I have his W-4 form saved. I'll click on that, and it gets automatically saved into this window. If I want to take a look at it, I just highlight it, and I take a preview look. Okay? This is just blank for demonstration purposes, but if you filled his out and you scanned it or even filled it out online on the computer and saved it, and you have a signature here, maybe a DocuSign signature or whatever the case may be, and you have it saved as a PDF, go ahead and just set it right into that drawer. I can come back here, and then I will click OK. should have saved. Let me try it one more time. There we go. And this is the button to delete it. Or this would show any deleted. So if I went ahead and I deleted this right over here, yes, it would show up on the deleted tab to see that at least one time he had it. Okay. So let's go out and try something else. How about employee acknowledgement forms? Employee handbook acknowledgement forms. So I want to attach it. And we'll do this. Put it in there. We can preview it. And take that out. Click OK. And then you see it popped in here. So anytime you see a little plus next to any of these folders, you know something is in there. And this is super nice because it's by the employee. You don't have to go digging around. If the employee calls and says, you know what, I don't agree with my handbook, I don't think I ever got one, all you have to do is go into the employee card, simply click on additional, get into the HR drawer or the drawer, and say, you know what, we do have a form. We have it signed by you, and so that, you know, it says to us that you did receive a book and that you did read it and sign it. Very simple, very easy. And here we can take a look here too. Now this is something else where we can attach some documents. On that little note, we can have some post-it note handwriting in here. And the security, again, I want to talk a little bit about security on HR Drawer. Security is super nice. It works so that you can give security to any of the drawers. It's not one security fits all. It's security as you need it for whatever drawers they should have. And that is, I think, a fabulous feature of the drawer, because I maybe work in payroll but don't need to see some of the HR information. So I would be locked out of looking at HR information, and vice versa. Maybe I'm an HR generalist who does not need to see any of the payroll information. So it is set up per drawer for user security, or you can have a power user for all of them. All right, I am going to stop here. Any questions? Let me see if I can unmute anybody. And let's see, I'm going to unmute everyone. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and ask, or you can raise your hand, or go ahead and type a question in the questions area on the GoToMeeting.
Hey, Margie.
Yes.
This is Adam. I just wanted to let everybody know, Deb wanted us to give away one free version of the drawer product to anybody who answers the question first at the end of this. So, Margie, you can think of a question that you want to ask, or else I can just do an engaging question when we're done. But just wanted to let you guys know that we will be giving away one free version of this drawer product.
How exciting. That's fantastic. Good. That's exciting. I'm glad everybody, aren't you glad you showed up to this webinar now? That's exciting news. Okay, I don't see any questions at this moment in the question, and I don't see any hands up. I also want to just mention as well that if you do have questions or anything that you would like answered after this webinar, sometimes things come to your mind after the fact, please don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us at Implementation Specialist. We can all answer your questions. And we would be happy to do demonstrations or anything else that are more specific to your organization and company. All right. So we've gone through the drawer. And I guess it is open for question and answers right now, and I did that. I haven't seen anything. So I'm going to just go ahead and put a question out there, and let's see who can answer first. I just want to make sure everybody is not muted. Okay. Anybody out there that answers this question first correctly will get the drawer for free. In my description of the drawer, how many modules and which modules will the drawer work in?
4. Accounts payable, accounts receivable, inventory, and HR payroll.
Is that Natalie?
Yes.
All right, Natalie, you're our winner. Thank you for paying attention.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Fantastic. Well, as soon as we're done with this webinar, we'll reach out to you, Natalie, and we'll get the information we need and and all that for the HR or for the drawer to be set up for your system. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. With that, nobody else has any questions, so I want to say thank you to everyone for spending a half hour of your day with us today. I hope this was helpful for you. And again, if you do need to ask questions after the fact, after the webinar is over, or if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. So please let us know. Our information is right here. It is www.iscorp.biz, and we would love to hear from you. I believe most of you know our phone number. It is 218-486-5095. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day, everyone.